May the triple gem bless you all. The Dhamma sermon conducted based on the explanation of the factors of enlightenment from the series of Dhamma books authored by Most Venerable Rerukane Chandavimala Mahanayaka Thero is titled by Mekala Niwena Bana. Today, we respectfully invite our Venerable Sandalankawe Kalyanadassana Thero to deliver Dhamma sermon. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today, Dhamma sermon is sponsored by Mr. Saman Kumara along with his wife and daughter. So, now we respectfully invite Venerable Sandalankawe Kalyanadassana Thero to deliver Dhamma sermon. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Saṅghāṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Saṅghāṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi saṅghāṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi saṅghāṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchāmi.
Saranāgamaṇaṃ sampunnaṃ.
Āmabante.
පානාතිපාතා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
පානාතිපාතා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
අදින්නාදානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
අදින්නාදානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
කාමේසු මිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
කාමේසු මිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමා දට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමා දට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
තිසරණේන සද්දින් පංචශීලං ධම්මං සාදුකං සුරක්ෂිතං කତ୍වා අප්පමාදේන සම්පාදේ තබ්බං.
ආමබන්තේ සාතු සාතු සාතු.
සමන්තා චක්කවාලේසු අත්‍රා ගච්ඡන්තු දේවතා සද්ධම්මං මුනි රාජස්ස සුනන්තු සග්ග මොක්ඛදං ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං භදන්තා. ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං භදන්තා. ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං භදන්තා. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. සූර්යස්ස භික්ඛවේ උදයතෝ ඒතම් පුබ්බංගමං ඒතම් පුබ්බ නිමිත්තං යදිදං අරුණග්ගං ඒවමේව කෝ භික්ඛවේ භික්ඛුනෝ සත්තානං බොජ්ජංගානං uppādāya etam pubbangamaṃ etam pubba nimittaṃ yadidaṃ yoniso manasikāro yoniso manasikāra sampannassetam bhikkave bhikkhuno pātikkaṃ satta bojjhange bhavessati satta bojjhange bahuli karissati ti. With respect to the most venerable Mahasangha and dear devotees and Dhamma friends, today we are going to deliver you another Dhamma discussion related to the enlightenment factors. Now we are delivering this series of Dhamma sermon using the book as a guidance, using the book as a guide, namely the explanation of the factors of enlightenment. So, dear devotees, under this Dhamma series, we have discussed with you Cattaro Satipatthana, the four establishments of mindfulness, Cattaro Sammappadana, the four right strivings, Cattaro Iddhipada, four roads to power, Panchendriya, five spiritual faculties, Panchabala, five spiritual powers, and we have started the discussion of 7 factors of enlightenment, also known as Satta Bojjhanga. Now in last Dhamma talk, we have discussed with you Bojjhanga means Bodhi Anga, according to the terms that can be used as the person who works on attaining the Nibbana or the Dhamma which has to be realized finally. So then Bodhi means the enlightenment. So the factors pertaining to the development of the factors pertaining to the attaining the Nibbana are known as the 7 factors of enlightenment, namely Satta Bojjhanga. So, dear devotees, now what we have to discuss under this topic is, last day we discussed, actually we briefly delivered to you what are these 7 elements, what are these 7 factors of enlightenment, namely Sati Sambojjhanga, Dhamma Vicaya Sambojjhanga, Virya Sambojjhanga, Pīti Sambojjhanga, Passaddhi Sambojjhanga, Samadhi Sambojjhanga, and the last one is Upekkha Sambojjhanga. In English, we know them as Sati means the mindfulness, and Dhamma Vicaya means the investigation, Virya, the energy or the striving, Pīti, rapture, Passaddhi, tranquility, Samadhi, concentration, and equanimity means the Upekkha. So, dear devotees, now in brief, what is given in Rerukane Chandavimala Mahanayaka Thero's book, the factor of enlightenment of mindfulness is the nature of the mind of the person who practices concentration meditation, which is not distracted into many objects, but coming again and again to the same object, such as the parts of the body, and the nature of the mind of the person who practices vipassana, whose mind is also not distracted in many objects, but remains or comes again and again to the object of aggregates, or the same object of meditation that comes to the mind again and again. Simply, if you can keep your focus or attention on the particular meditation object as you carry out the meditation, that means you have developed or you are developing the factor of enlightenment of mindfulness, Sati Sambojjhanga. It is normal as a beginner, as a learner or practitioner, whenever we carry out meditation, dear devotees, our mind is distracted. Maybe due to the sensual desires, maybe due to hateful thoughts or emotions. Likewise, now sometimes anger, jealousy, these kind of defilements disturb us. So what that at that point, what you have to do, you have to bring back your mind onto the particular meditation object. So if you can keep your mind stick onto the meditation object for a prolonged period, that means you have quite well developed Sati Sambojjhanga, or the factor of enlightenment of mindfulness. So this is what we call Sati Sambojjhanga. And the next one is the Dhamma Vichaya Sambojjhanga, the factor of enlightenment of investigation of Dhamma. Now that is the better understanding, seeing and knowing of the parts of the body and all when practicing concentration meditation, and the aggregates when practicing vipassana meditation. During the meditation, actually you can carry out two different types of meditation, samatha and vipassana. Samatha means the tranquility meditation, vipassana means the insight meditation. So during samatha meditation or tranquility, also known as the serenity meditation, so you should know now this what are the body parts. Actually now, for instance, let's take foulness meditation, the Asubha Manasikara. Whenever you carry out the meditation on this loathsomeness of the body, now we divide the body parts and we contemplate them accordingly, like the head hairs and the body hairs, and these are the nails, now these are the teeth and the skin. Likewise, now we carry out the meditation according to their color and the shape and the smell of each and every body part, and also we consider what is the location on that particular body part on the body, in the body, and as well as finally that what are the surrounding and what is from what that particular body part is made up of. Now vanna santana gandhehi asayo kasato tata. So these are the way we meditate. During the samatha meditation, tranquility meditation, now you should know these characteristics of that particular body part. Now that, for instance, now this is the way that you should carry out the samatha meditation, in tranquility meditation. When it comes to the insight meditation, so called which is known as the vipassana meditation, now again to the deeper levels, now we consider there, we contemplate how these body parts are made up of, like Patavi and Apo, Tejo, Vayo. In fact, now they are impermanent nature. They are unsatisfactory nature and selflessness. Now anicca, dukkha, anatta. So then we can divide them into the nama and rupa. So we call the mind and matter, also known as the nama, mind and the mental concomitants all together we call the nama. And next part is the corporeality, the rupa. So then if you can realize this nama and rupa according to their intrinsic nature, actually the impermanence, the unsatisfactoriness and the selflessness or soullessness, anicca, dukkha, anatta. So then that is the insight meditation, also known as the vipassana meditation. So now this investigation of Dhamma is developed as you carry out the meditation. That may be samatha or vipassana, but in fact that is to be developed in order to attain the enlightenment. So that the next is the Virya Sambojjhanga, the factor of enlightenment of energy. It is given in the Rerukane Mahathero's well-written book. Is the factor of enlightenment of energy is the ability to practice meditation well without laziness or retardation of mind. So, due to the maybe bodily weaknesses, or maybe some kind of, sometimes different times during the day, that especially after having a meal, it is quite develops the sleepiness and especially the laziness to carry out the meditation. It is quite hard. But now at this time also, now you should be very pay attention on your meditation practice to overcome the laziness and sleepiness. Now you can change your posture, like if you are practicing the sitting meditation, then you can go to the walking meditation. Likewise, now you can change the posture. So anyhow, you should not give any kind of chance to the defilements to overcome you, so that now you should defeat them. So then now this energy, that this what we call striving, that should be very key factor. Otherwise now you can't carry out the meditation. So then that is to, especially this energy is required to suppress the defilements and also to cultivate the wholesome states in your mind. And next comes the enlightenment, the factor of enlightenment of rapture, Piti Sambojjhanga. It is explained as the enjoyment and happiness that one engages and gains through the practice of meditation. Without any pleasure, without any delightment or gratification, normally you can't carry out any kind of you can't perform any kind of deed, maybe verbally or physically, even mentally. So during this meditation as well, you have to have some kind of happiness or some enjoyment in there, so that now that will develop the enthusiasm in you, so that you can carry out the meditation further and further, whether that may be samatha or vipassana. And next is the tranquility, Passaddhi Sambojjhango, is the ability to practice meditation happily without any fatigue or oppression. Our body is somewhat quite weak with compared to the other beings. Sometimes it comes the pains and aches from our body, maybe especially from the legs and lower body part. Sometimes even the upper body, sometimes headaches and all comes. So what you have to do, you have to abandon them. How to abandon? As you carry out the meditation, there will be a stage called you will develop the passaddhi or tranquility, so that now you may not realize, now you may not get any kind of pain from your body parts. Now that means some coolness or some calmness you may achieve, you may develop in you, not only for the body but as well as the mind. This is just like taming an elephant, wild elephant. How to tame an elephant, wild elephant? Now you should tie that particular wild elephant onto the post, very strong post. So then initially at the beginning, that now wild animal tries to escape, so it is very violent, very difficult to control. But now once that particular wild elephant or animal realizes that now there is no chance of escaping, now calmly, quietly, that particular elephant will lie down close to that pole or post. So then that is what happens as you carry out the meditation. Initially this is going to be very strenuous, very exhausting process, but with the time, with the development, dear devotees, you can realize your mind is calming down. So that now actually if you can experience that this shallow concentration or shallow calming, slight or very light calm down stage, that is consider that as a reward, because earlier your mind was distracted from different plenty of defilements. Now what has happened, now it has quite tamed up to a certain degree, certain level. So then, dear devotees, now that is what we call the tranquility. But now especially when you develop the enlightenment, factor of enlightenment of tranquility, Passadhi Sambojjhanga, now you don't you won't be disturbed by different fatigueness or this oppression from the body, and as well as now most of the hindrances are being abandoned from your mind. So the next is the Samadhi Sambojjhanga, the sixth one, the factor of enlightenment of concentration. Now that is the establishment of mind on the meditation object without any distractions or wavering. Now these are just like the steps for the ultimate Upekka Sambojjhanga. So all these are required ultimately in order to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Now those who have the mindfulness, now they can develop further and further the Dhamma Vicaya Sambojjhanga, investigation of the Dhamma. And then while this investigation, again it develops the energy, striving, virya. And because of that high degree of virya, and also it also develops the rapture, the pleasingness, or pleasing nature, the happiness. Next comes because of the happiness, it develops the tranquility. So these are interconnected, one favors the others always. Now one favor the other. So then, dear devotees, then next comes the concentration. So then at that level, concentration will be very serene, because now there are no disturbances at all, that you can carry out the meditation maybe as you wish for 1 hour or 2 hours or even more than 2 hours. So then finally, in order to maintain very high knowledge, you have to develop the equanimity as well, so-called, which is known as the Upekka Sambojjhanga, the factor of enlightenment of equanimity, is the ability to carry on meditation as without much effort by balancing both energy and concentration. So we have to be very careful. If you are a practitioner full of energy, then you have to boost up your concentration as well. And if you have more concentration but now your energy is quite weak, then you have to elevate your energy as well. So then these two should be simultaneously boosted, or they should be uplifted, both at once. Otherwise, if one is strong, becomes strengthened, and the other one is weakened, then you cannot carry out the meditation properly. So dear devotees, now briefly, these are the 7 factors of enlightenment, Satta Bojjhanga, that Lord Buddha has told us, that these are just like the wheel-turning monarch or Sakkviti Raja, who has 7 gems belonging to him. So the same manner, in the Gautam Buddha's dispensation, these are the 7 gems. So a practitioner, especially each and every practitioner, should possess or can have. Dear devotees, now today we are going to elaborate on the same topic, what you call the Satta Bojjhanga, further and further. Now last day we have discussed with you what are the things we are going to discuss with you related to these factors, 7 factors of enlightenment. In fact, we should know what are they, and then we should know what are the factors, especially what are the dependents of the factors of enlightenment. Now on what points or what facts now these 7 factors of enlightenment are depending. So then Again, let's go back to the Rerukane Chandavimala Mahanayaka Thero's this well-written book. So it is given like this. One simile the Rerukane Mahathero has used here, as the farmer who earns money through farming first needs to be obtained a field. Likewise, the good person who wishes to develop and obtain certainly a great unworldly bliss of the gems of 7 factors of enlightenment and Nibbana in this very world, which are even more superior to the bliss of having 7 gems by the universal king, should develop the things that are the field for the development of the factors of enlightenment. So, dear devotees, now before a farmer cultivate his crop, now he should find a suitable fertile area. So then that field is the place where that particular farmer will sow his seeds or cultivate his crop. The same manner, to develop these 7 factors of enlightenment, now we need some field. So actually, to develop this, now what are the depending things, what are the depending facts on which these 7 factors of enlightenment should be developed? First thing is the virtue, then another thing is association with good friends, and the last one is wise attention. So 3 things are required: virtue, the sila, association with good friends, kalyana mittata, and wise attention, yoniso manasikara. So dear devotees, now most of the times, sila or morality, virtue, that is very important. Lord Buddha has given Sayyatavi Bhikkave Yekechi Pana Chattaro Iriyapate Kappenti Kalena Gamanang Kalena Nisajjang Kalena Tanang Kalena Seyyang Sabbete Pataving Nissaya Pataviyam Patittaya Eva mete chattaro iriyapate kappenti eva meva ko bhikkave bhikkhu silang nissaya sile patittaya satta bojjange bhaveti satta bojjange bahuli karoti. So dear devotees, now the meaning of this verse, so that this statement of Lord Buddha, all the animals, whoever living on this earth, where they are moving or they are standing or sitting or lying down, that always now they associate this earth. They all do this dependent of earth, established on earth. The same way, how these 7 factors of enlightenment should be developed, depending on the virtue, established on virtue. So now, dependent on virtue or on establishing on virtue, that a particular seeker or practitioner can develop these 7 factors of enlightenment. So that is also given in another very famous stanza, Sile patittaya naro sapanyo chittam panyancha bhavayang. Sile patittaya. So that now that is the point, that is the habitat where a practitioner should establish himself or herself. So that the sila, virtue, or the morality, as the lay devotees, now you have to protect your precepts. Now, especially for the lay devotees, now normally you observe 5 precepts, on poor days 8 precepts. Even for the higher stages, now you can observe the 10 precepts if you are eligible, if you can protect them. Then, so those observed precepts, now you should protect without breaking. So dear devotees, now this is the substrate, now this is the habitat where you can develop these 7 factors of enlightenment. Another thing Lord Buddha has given, the Kalyana Mittata. Kalyana Mittata means the good association of noble friends. Nowadays it is very difficult to find good friends, Kalyana Mitta, especially. Normally we can see, especially in adolescents or youth, now they have many more friends. But the question there is, are they all Kalyana Mitta? Are they all noble friends? If a particular friend carries you or always supports you to carry out or to perform unwholesome deeds, now that is not a Kalyana Mitta. A person, a friend who supports you to perform wholesome deeds, now that particular person is a Kalyana Mitta. So now you have to be very careful when you are associating the friends, dear devotees. Now always think carefully. In any kind of association, if it develops the defilements in you, then slowly you have to abandon those friends and you have to give up those relationships. And if you can observe that now day by day your wholesome states will develop, your generosity, your loving kindness and your meditation practices, the concentration, those things develop in you due to association of some group of people or at least one friend, then what you should do is you should associate that particular person or group of people further and further. So then Kalyana Mittata is very important. That is also another dependent factor on these Satta Bojjhanga. Then another thing, last one is the wise attention. Yoniso Manasikara, that is actually just like a Kalyana Mitta. Always now, whenever there is Yoniso Manasikara, we know we don't have to be worried. Why? Because now Yoniso Manasikara, this wise attention always protects us. Now there is no chance of developing unwholesome when there is Yoniso Manasikara. This wise attention means that is the forerunner. Forerunner in the sense that Lord Buddha has preached us. Suryas bhikkhave udayato etam pubbangam etam pubba nimittang yadidang arunagga. Dear devotees, now when you observe early in the morning the light red color in the eastern sky, that means now that is the dawn. So then in Pali language that is considered as that is termed as the Aruna. Now that is a sign, that is the symbol for the sunrise. First it comes the dawn, then the sunrise. So the same manner, so this dawn is the forerunner, the precursor for sunrise. That the same way the wise attention is the forerunner or precursor for the development of the 7 factors of enlightenment. So if you can always maintain wise attention, so proper attention, then that is a sign in you. So you can rejoice yourself that you are on the right track. So if you anyhow perform unwise attention, if your attention is not good, ayoniso manasikara, that means you are not in right track. Actually, yoniso means the right path. So yoniso manasikara means that the attention on the right path. So that means now if you can maintain, if you can develop the right path, dear devotees, so then it is it is conducive to the attainment of Nibbana. So these are the 3 things: Sila, Kalyana Mittata and Yoniso Manasikara, the virtue morality, and Kalyana Mittata, association with good friends or with the good friend, and Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention. So you can practice these things in order to develop the 7 factors of enlightenment. Now let's move to another subtopic. So far, if I brief what we have discussed now what are these 7 factors of enlightenment, Saptabojjhanga, and then we have discussed with you what are the depending points, or let's take like this way, what these 7 factors of enlightenment are depending on. So then we have discussed 3 different kinds of a very important phenomena, so that you can develop 7 factors of enlightenment if you practice them. Then how to develop the factors of enlightenment? Now this is very important, dear devotees. Now we should know the method of developing these 7 factors of enlightenment. If I go back to the profound book written by Mahanayaka Thero, the development of the factors of enlightenment is also to be done as practicing both serenity and insight. So there is no other way. While practicing the samatha and vipassana, then you can develop these 7 factors of enlightenment, Saptabojjhanga. Practicing meditation is the way to practice the factors of enlightenment, and practicing the factors of enlightenment is the way to practice meditation. So you see, this is mutually they develop. As you practice the meditation, it develops the 7 factors of enlightenment, and as you practice as you develop the 7 factors of enlightenment, it is beneficial to the development of meditation as well. Dear devotees, initially, how to start the meditation? First of all, you should find a teacher in order to receive the kamatahan. So kamatahan in the sense, now the methodology, so that now you should find the object for meditation. Now let's take simply breathing meditation. Now that is, the breathing is the meditation object. Especially while you are practicing the breathing meditation, we are focusing on the exact location where this breathing air contacts. So there, that feeling, especially that contact point, as that the breathing air rubs at that point, that you can feel it. Now we are focusing on that particular location. So when you come to the foulness meditation or loathsomeness of the body, you contemplate on different body parts according to their color, their shape, and their smell, and their location, and from what they are made up of. Likewise, now you should learn actually a meditation object. So nowadays it is very convenient. Now earlier, in ancient times, it was very difficult to find the teachers for meditation, actually kammattanacharya, or that the teachers who give the instructions on meditation. Nowadays it is freely available in internet. So you can search for one particular type of meditation. So then you can have a list of teachers, but be careful. You can go through videos or instructions at least from 2-3 teachers. Then you can find out what is the best instruction for you. And I have to remind you, always be careful, because nowadays we can't trust each and every information given in the internet. So then what you have to do is now go along with the doctrine. There are different discourses found in the Tripitaka, Pali Canon, just like the Satipatthana Sutta and Anapanasati Sutta. Likewise, now there are many more different discourses found in Tripitaka that you can refer them, and along with you can if that particular advice or if that teacher's instructions are tally with the doctrine, then now you can carry out the meditation according to those instructions. So otherwise, now you can find a teacher physically, you can meet meditation practitioner, then you can have the instructions. So then once learned the kamatahan, then what you should have, then what you should do is you should find a secluded place, then you can start your meditation. So nowadays it might be very difficult to find the secluded or quite isolated environments, but it should be very smart. Even in your household environment, you might find the times where there are no other family members in your household environment. So then you can allocate some time to carry out the meditation. So normally, especially the monks, even in the ancient times when the Lord Buddha was alive, once taken the advice and kamatahan from the Lord Buddha, they have gone to the forest monasteries or other isolated places, especially into the cemeteries and all. Then they started meditation. So now it is up to you, dear devotees. Now you have to find quite calm and quiet place, then you can start your meditation. So it is better if you can have particular exact time during the daytime or evening time, that exact time slot to carry out the meditation if it is convenient to you. Otherwise, no matter. The most important thing is you have to maintain the persistency. So now make a discipline in yourself. So daily you have to practice the meditation as a principle. So then while you practice in this manner, then suppose you are meditating on the parts of the body, so asubha manasikara, then you can carry out the meditation as head hairs, body hairs, attemasmin kai, kesa, loma, naka, danta, tacho. Likewise, according to how you have learned that particular kamatahan, and you can contemplate on their color and the shape and the smell. Likewise, you can contemplate on them. So as you develop this meditation, initially it might be difficult for you, but later on you might realize, now unlike the beginning, now my mind is quite calmed, it is tamed, that I can carry out the meditation up to maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So slowly you can increase your time duration for the meditation. So dear devotees, if we go back to the Rerukane Mahathero's well-written book, Thero has given like this way: for the person thus meditates will have to face many problems from time to time, from cold, heat, hunger, thirst, mosquitoes and gadflies, etc., as well as physical problems, problems from enemies, and some more other things as well. Sometimes once you started the meditation as a beginner, there are more disturbances, but you should be unshaken. Don't pay attention onto them. Sometimes when you start the meditation for the very first time, earlier there was no any bodily pains and aches. Even now you could realize some of your facial muscles are dancing. So this is normally we don't realize during the day-to-day time. Why? Because now maybe they are, facial muscles are contracting during the normal day-to-day hours as well, but we didn't notice them. Why? Because now we have different objects on that we have object that we paid our attention on. But now all the other distractions have been cut off. Now we are focusing on one particular meditation object, but because of the habit, sometimes it is disturbed by your own body. the same simile I have to give you here. Now you are taming a wild bull or wild elephant. So at the beginning it is very violent. So now, but don't give up. So always you have to bear up these, environmental conditions. Now we can't complain them, cold, heat, and sometimes mosquitoes that, you can use mosquito repellent or any kind of mosquito net in order to prevent or protect from those, bites. Then always ask your family members, now don't disturb you, especially if you are a mother or father having the kids. They might disturb you, but they might disturb you, but with the time they also will realize, now this is the particular time where my father or mother meditates, so we should not disturb him or her. So likewise, now be smart. You can find some solutions for those things. But anyway, so this kanti, here the patience is the very much important thing. So then, dear devotees, again, that Rerukani Mahathero has given an advice like this way. However, that practitioner must continue his meditation without giving up, no matter whatsoever the problem arises. Each and every practitioner has their own issues and problems. Now, despite all those issues, now consider the Lord Buddhas as the Prince Siddhartha, or as an ascetic Siddhartha, that the life as an ascetic, that was very, distracting, or very high disturbances were there. But the ascetic Siddhartha didn't give up. So the same manner that we have to, in order to attain the enlightenment, we should not give up. We should not pay attention on these external disturbances, but we have to carry out the meditation properly. Then when the practitioner practices meditation well, having established the mind on the object as the factor of enlightenment of mindfulness. So initially, if you can, it is normal to distract your mind, it goes away, but bring back your mind onto the particular meditation object, focus well. Then as you develop the mindfulness, now that is the Sati Sambojjhanga. Then if you can understand the object well, that means that you are developing the Dhamma Vicaya Sambojjhanga, the factor of enlightenment of the investigation of Dhamma. Then without any hesitation, with great effort, that if you are able to carry out the meditation, that means that is the factor of enlightenment of energy, Virya Sambojjhanga. And what comes next, as you suppose that now anyhow, despite the disturbances, you were able to carry out your meditation at least for 30 minutes properly. Now that means, now then you will get some pleasing nature in your mind, some rapture. So that is called Piti Sambojjhanga. So that rapture is the driving force. It generates more and more willingness to carry out the meditation. So now here, what kind of pleasure is this? What kind of rapture is this? This is not what you have earned due to the worldly objects. This is unworldly rapture. So we rapture, this pleasing nature. There are two ways happiness, that the samisa and niramisa. So samisa in the sense, now household pleasure you get from the household environment, especially worldly environment. So then whenever you see that the pleasant forms or objects, when you hear the melodious voices, noises, and when you get that, pleasant smells and, very good touch and very good contactile feelings, and as well as when you have the love like, pleasant feelings. So then those are related to the worldly rapture. But now here, this is unworldly, niramisa piti. So then this is more pleasing than the, worldly rapture. Why? Because now always there are conditions for the worldly rapture. So samisa piti. When those conditions are being removed, then you will get the unsatisfactoriness. But now this unworldly rapture, the niramisa piti, that you have earned that. So that is generated within you because of the development of meditation. That is very, very worthwhile, and that is invaluable. Dear devotees, after a long time of period, if you have developed that rapture in you, that means you should reward. That is the reward that you have got before the enlightenment, that you have rewarded yourself. So this is a sign that you can do this. So now don't give up. Carry out further and further your meditation, whether that may be samatha or vipassana. Then when while this rapture, especially piti, generates in you, then it comes the passaddhi, so the tranquility. So again, one paragraph given in Rerukane Mahathero's book, it is the nature that even while meditating, thoughts blended with defilements like restlessness that agitates the mind and mental states arise. It is because of that calmness of meditative mind of sensual sphere also becomes weak. Having aroused rapture, if the practitioner practices with rapture from time to time, the arisen of the defiled minds like restlessness is also reduced. Now this is the driving force. As I told you earlier, if there is no enthusiasm, if there is no pleasure, then it is very difficult to carry out, meditation. But now once you develop this piti, unworldly rapture, then easily you can carry out the meditation, because it is lessen the defilements. Now, you can slowly observe that declining of the defilements like this laziness, sleepiness, restlessness and all. With that, the practitioner's mind and mental states are pacified and come to the state of supreme bliss of coolness. Now, this is what we call passaddhi. Once with that development of the unworldly rapture, now it gives that, some happiness, and also then it produces the tranquility. Now, dear devotees, tranquility, passadda kayassa sukhino chittang samadhiyati. Once the tranquility is there, then concentration generates. So now, dear devotees, now you should realize that one particular enlightenment factors, out of these 7 enlightenment factors, initially the mindfulness favors the Dhammavicaya Sambojjhanga. It also favors the Virya, and it favors the Piti, then tranquility, then Samadhi, and finally, if you can balance the concentration and the Virya, then what happens, that means the energy and the concentration, if you can balance, you will develop the this equanimity, so Upekka Sambojjhanga. So then these are the 7 factors of enlightenment, how you can develop them in you. So dear devotees, today we have discussed the importance of the 7 factors of enlightenment, Satta Bojjhanga, out of 37 factors of enlightenment. Now this 7 is very important, like all the other 30 enlightenment factors. So one favors the another, mutual development of all these things. Now you can attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. So far we have discussed what are the 7 factors of enlightenment and what are the dependent factors of these Satta Bojjhanga, and also we have discussed how to develop the factors of enlightenment. So we invite you, it is over to you, always stick onto the spiritual practices. This is very rarely we got this chance as human beings. So now it is your duty and responsibility to make some effort to liberate this harsh journey of samsara. So we bless you all with the merits that we have collected today. May you all be fortunate to end this harsh journey of samsara sooner than later. And finally, let's transfer the merits that we have earned today to the contributors. In recognition of this noble act, the heartfelt contributions have been made by Mr. Saman Kumara of Gampaha, his wife Mrs. Champika, and their daughter Harshani, and all others involved. May Mrs. Champika, who is currently unwell, be blessed with a swift and complete recovery. May every member of the family be free from illness and enjoy strength and vitality. We also extend our prayers for the full recovery and lasting health of Mother W.M. Somawati and Mother Jayawati, who are presently in ailing condition. May Mr. Dinesh Saparamadu and his entire family be blessed with robust health and ever-growing prosperity. Furthermore, may the Senate Group of Companies Colombo 7, Apigo Company and Aplova Company thrive and prosper endlessly. Also, may the abundant merits accumulated through this noble deed be dedicated to all the departed loved ones, including late A.L. Somapala, A.L. Wasantakumara, K.D.G. Saparamadu, Mother Aryavati Saparamadu. May they all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana and eternal peace. May peace, wellness, and happiness illuminate your lives always. May you all become fortunate to liberate from this harsh journey of samsara sooner than later. Akasatta Chabummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Sasanam. Akasatta Chabummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Desanam. Akasatta Chabummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Mamparanti. Abhivadana Selissa Nichang Madda Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayuvanno Sukambalang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Minate Samijjatu.